the conference. I want to thank Representatives Kathy Anger as well as Representative Dick Ball for participating with us, and we have a number of other speakers that will come up during the course of the press conference that will be able to share their comments as well. Today it is estimated that 1 out of every 150 American 8-year-olds has some form of autism. That means that well over 500,000 children in this country have the disorder, according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. In 2005, it was estimated there were some 10,000 children with autism in the state of Michigan. In 1982, that number was only 305. That, folks, is an epidemic. Unfortunately, treatments for autism are difficult to access, often inadequate and frequently delayed until years after the symptoms are displayed. And when parents are denied coverage by private group health insurance companies, they often are forced either to pay out-of-pocket expenses or avoid treatment completely. This issue was brought to my attention by Dan Myers, who's with us here today. He's a constituent of mine from the city of Dearborn Heights. He and his family bear an awesome burden, as well as others, to provide treatment for his son Jacob, who has been diagnosed with a form of autism. He struggles with that every day. Mr. Myers indicated to me that if he was to follow the recommended treatment recommended by his doctors for his son Jacob, it would cost his family an estimated $208,000 a year. It is our hope today that mandated private insurance coverage will bring effective treatment and services for autism within the reach of children who need them. 25 states in the nation have either introduced a bill or to mandate some degree of coverage or already require some degree of coverage for autism-related expenses. Michigan will become the 26th state in the country to address the autism insurance coverage issue, meaning that the majority of states now have joined this fight. The costs of this insurance reform are small and will have very little impact on the cost of health insurance premiums for individual consumers. By improving outcomes for children with autism, mandated private insurance coverage will decrease the lifetime cost of treatment and services and actually result in an overall cost savings in the long run. However, without mandated insurance coverage, costs to treat autism will continue to rise. This will not only impact individual families, but will have widespread social effects as well. We have a duty to do all that we can to protect the health and welfare of all of Michigan's children. This will take the effort of every legislator, Democrat and Republican, and I am looking forward to working with all of my colleagues and finding a common sense solution to this growing problem. So I'm thankful today that my colleagues from the House, Representative Kathy Anger and Representative Dick Ball, is also taking steps to address this issue. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will pass the microphone to Representative Kathy Anger, Chairman of the Health Policy Committee, who was going to add her comments at this time. Kathy.
Thank you so much, and I completely appreciate Senator Tupac Hunter's leadership on this in the Senate. It is going to take an effort on both sides of this chamber in order for us to move this issue forward. And so your leadership on this certainly speaks well of the work you do with your constituents. And like you, one of my constituents brought this to my attention. Walt Brigman and his wife Anita have been longtime friends. Their grandson, their daughter Anne, and their grandson have been advocates for work in the autism and research. But this is a problem that affects their family daily. This is something they, on a daily basis, have an issue with, and they came to me some time ago, and I partnered with the Representative Ball and Senator Hunter to move this issue forward. As we discuss autism in Michigan, more and more children in our state are being diagnosed with autism, leaving an increasing number of Michigan families struggling to keep up with the high cost of treatment. Experts estimate that 3 to 6 children out of every 1,000 will have autism, and worldwide, it's estimated that 35 million people have autism. Here in Michigan, the number of children in public schools diagnosed with autism increased by more than 100% 100% between 2001 and 2006. The rates of this complex neurological disorder are spiking to such a degree that autism is often described as an epidemic. And I'm proud to be here with a Democrat and a Republican, a fellow state rep, a fellow state senator, to represent a bipartisan plan that fundamentally will address fair treatment for families raising children with autism. And in a bit, I'll tell you also about a bill I introduced that will provide a convenient way for residents around our state to help promote autism research. As many of you know, autism refers to the most common condition in a group of developmental disorders known collectively as autism spectrum disorders. An autism spectrum disorder is characterized by difficulties with verbal and nonverbal communication, social interaction, and repetitive behaviors. We have microphone trouble every time I'm in the House approach room. I don't know if it has to do with our fiscal problem in Michigan, but I apologize. This impact ranges from mild to disabling, and no one knows exactly what causes autism. But what we do know, the thing we all know, is that proper screening, proper treatment of autism is crucial to a child's development. Experts agree that early diagnosis and treatment is vital to increasing the chances a child will reach normal functioning levels. Earlier this year, I held in Monroe County an autism roundtable that brought together families raising children that have autism. School officials educating autistic students and advocates from the Autism Society of Michigan working to raise awareness of how we can do a better job to raise children, help them grow, and develop to their full potential. The roundtable raised a lot of important issues about healthcare coverage and the struggle that families have in our state to go through in order to get their children proper treatment. Currently, most health insurance companies only cover screening for the disorder, leaving families with the children afflicted with autism to bear the high cost of treatment on their own. Excluding autism from coverage is not only arbitrary and unfair, it sets back efforts to understand and treat this condition, which threatens to increase healthcare costs for everyone down the road. Our bipartisan plan would require health insurance companies to end their arbitrary exclusion for treatment of autism. Treating autism can cost a single family $50,000 or more annually, and we have families here that will attest to that. Ensuring equal coverage for all of our working families when it comes to autism is the right thing to do for our residents. Our plan will ensure that families raising children who have autism receive quality care that will help their children grow and develop to their full potential, which is what every parent wants for their child. By requiring health insurance parity for those living with autism, the plan will make Michigan a leader in the effort to understand and treat this disorder. And in addition, beyond that, I've also introduced legislation to create a voluntary income tax checkoff option that provides Michigan residents with a convenient way to support autism research. As autism awareness increases, this income tax checkoff option will be a great option for citizens who want to help advance the medical field's understanding of autism. We all lead busy lives, and residents who support the cause of autism may not have the time to look into how they can promote research. But this checkoff box at the time when they file their state taxes is an easy way to contribute to the community. As chair of House Health Policy Committee, I work hard to help ensure we do everything to promote the well-being of all Michigan residents. And we can be an example to the rest of the nation when it comes to treating autism. This plan will advance the medical field's knowledge of autism while also helping to hold down healthcare costs for everyone else down the road. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the other sponsor in the House of the bill, Representative Dick Ball, wonderful colleague who works with us on a variety of issues, and it's no mistake that he's agreed to sponsor legislation regarding autism. Representative Ball.